Welcome to the pregame show. Spartans getting set to take on the Columbia Cougars. We are now joined by the head coach, Matt Brock. I'm Kevin Schaefer, and Spartans the 8th seed taking on the number 1 seed in the conference, Columbia. And Coach, what's been the mindset and what's kind of been the attitude of the team in practice this week?
It's been really good. I really liked our energy. We've kind of just stayed the course the way we've been preparing each week this season, and obviously a opponent we're familiar with, having played them a couple weeks ago, and our guys are excited. And
I mentioned you guys are taking on the 6th-ranked Cougars, 6th in the nation. What's been the main focus in practice?
They're very, very balanced, so it's hard to just say, hey, let's take one thing away. But they really shoot the ball in the perimeter really well, 41% as a team. I think that's 4th in the country, and they shoot a lot of them, and they make a lot of them. So we've got to do a good job defending the three-point line. At the same time, they've got post guys that can really score the ball. Malik Ray's playing about as well as any post player in our league, and Nathan Biggs had a nice game at our place back on the 11th. So we've got our work cut out for us, and we've just kind of been focused on trying to play our best basketball and making the right next basketball play.
And you've talked about their familiar opponent. They took the season series 2-0. Second game, though, a lot closer than the first game. What changed between game 1 and game 2, and then what do you guys need to do here in game 3 to take the win?
Well, we were missing some personnel the first time. We didn't have Pablo, didn't have Andrew, so that's helpful when you got a team like them that will play 6 different forwards. They just keep running them in. So our post depth was better, and on the home court, you usually play a little better. But I think as teams become more familiar with each other, things tighten up, and I think you notice that a lot throughout the conference season. That the first game maybe a wide margin, the second one is a little tighter, so. I don't know if there was a magic key or magic thing that we did besides defend a little better. We didn't defend at their place. I'm trying to think back to that game. It was a long time ago. It's New Year's Eve, so it feels like a lifetime ago. But we're going to hopefully try to defend them and try to get quality shots against them. That's the challenge, because they're so good defensively, and they make you work for everything you get. And you've got to get quality shots to set your defense. Because if their defense can dictate a game by forcing you into turnovers and bad shots, that gets their offense going in transition against a defense that isn't set. So that's going to be a key as well.
Columbia's a team you know very well. They enter this game 26-4, number 6 in the NAIA. Also a pretty balanced attack led by Jackson Dubinsky, Nick Reynolds, but they've also lost 2 of their last 3, so just talk a little bit about them as a team, what they do well, and maybe what's been hurting them in the last couple of games.
Well, Jackson Dubinsky's playing really well. I think he's been the best point guard in the league, clearly maybe the best player in the league. Just can really shoot the basketball left-handed, pushes the pace, has a ton of energy, plays very fast the whole game. He leads them in minutes. He's averaging 30 minutes a game, so he's definitely a key. He kind of is the engine that runs the train. So we've got to do a good job on him. Reynolds can really shoot the ball. He's very aggressive offensively. You've got to find him. He can shoot the ball from deep. They've got some other guys. Preston Whitfield off the bench is averaging 11 points in 19 minutes a game. I think, like we alluded to earlier, Malik Ray is probably one of the best, if not the best athlete in the league. You can't let him run to the rim without getting a body on him, because he's going to play over the top of you and put you on a poster. So we've got to guard their personnel to their strengths, and hopefully we'll be able to help a little bit off of some of their non-shooting bigs, because we're going to be guarding the three-point line so closely.
And what's a little bit interesting too is Williams Baptist actually beat Columbia about a week or 2 ago, and then you guys last week beat Williams Baptist by about 40. So how do you explain that? What does that kind of say about the league? And then also, too, what did you guys do so well against Williams Baptist? Because you probably kind of want to emulate that here tonight.
Yeah, I can't really explain it, Kevin. That's basketball. Different teams shoot the ball better on different nights. I don't think Columbia shot the ball necessarily terribly that night, but Williams Baptist plays plays zone the whole game, and so it's a unique zone. So it's a different game, and we attacked it really well, and we made shots and kind of got on them early and stayed on them, so we were able to get away from them. But I think our league is just so balanced. I think even a team like Hannibal, Lindenwood, Belleville, who didn't make the conference tournament, they had some really nice wins, over top seeds, and were in a lot of games and really competitive in games. So you're talking about 11 teams, and Williams Baptist, obviously, they didn't make the tournament either, and they beat the number 1 seed, a week before the conference tournament. So you're talking about 11 teams in a league that are the margin of error is small, and that's kind of been this team's Achilles heel is we've been able to, we won 16 games by double digits, but we were 0-10 in single-digit games. So we've got overall our stats look really well. Actually, if you compare us statistically to Columbia, it's very similar. They're slightly better in a couple categories, but we both average 81 points a game. We both turn the ball over. We don't turn the ball over a lot. I think if you just look at that statistically, it's kind of uncanny how statistically we match up, at least offensively, with Columbia. But our league has just improved so much, and I'm hoping that 3 or 4 teams from our league are going to represent the AMC in Kansas City.
And finally, I just want to touch on 2 guys individually who had pretty good weeks last week. Luke Call, kind of mentioned on the show a week ago that he was kind of in a shooting slump, seemed to break out of that last week, a couple of double-digit games. I think he had maybe 7 3-pointers. Then also to Will Harrington had a really good offensive game against Freed Harbin on Saturday, 6 for 10 from the field. How important are those guys here in this game and then just going forward too?
Oh, they're very important. If you score 107 points, Luke had 19, I think, that night. He's just kind of a separator. He helps us to separate away from teams. And if you look statistically, the games that he's hit multiple threes, our record's really good. And so we've got to find ways to get him the ball. I think I predicted it last week on the show, so I'm going to go ahead and predict it again. He's going to have a big night Thursday tonight. So hopefully we can do that again. But, the three-point line is such a huge part of our game today. I think people finally are starting to understand the value of the three and the low and little value of the long mid-range shot that your grandpa told you to work on when you're in 6th grade basketball, but because statistically it just doesn't make sense. So the three-point line's big. We'll hit 4 threes or 5 threes on Saturday. So anytime you can hit threes, it helps your efficiency for sure, and it gives you a lift. it's just kind of a big play. So we need to hit a few threes against Columbia, who's really good at defending the 3 line. So we'll have to work hard for it, but hopefully we can get some guys loose and knock down a few.
We're not going to look ahead, but winner of this game plays the winner of Freed Harbin and William Woods. That's head coach Matt Brock. I'm Kevin Schaefer. Opening tip between the Spartans and the Cougars coming up next. Brad Seigan, Kevin Schaefer, they have the call here on the Spartan Digital Network.